What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and I know it's been a while, but now it is finally time to make another video. I haven't been able to make a lot of videos because school's back in session, but my new recording schedule will be on the weekends. If I'll be recording on the weekends, I'll try to at least, unless I have something to do. So today we're gonna be doing an NFL tier list since it's pretty much the last chance I get before the regular season starts. Okay, let's do this. I have them by ranks. I have them at Super Bowl, which I'll have at least like 4 teams in. I'll start with the playoffs, and then whoever's in here, I'll move the 4 teams in there. Missed the cut, which means they weren't bad teams, but they were in tough divisions that they couldn't get in there. They were meh and didn't have a chance. They basically had no chance. They were bottom of the polls in their divisions and didn't have a chance. So we're starting with the Tennessee Titans. Now, Tennessee Titans is a weird team. They have good wide receivers. They have a beast of a running back, but the problem is they have Tannehill, which if Derrick Henry gets hurt, Tannehill is as useful as a baby with 2 legs cut off, 2 hands with no hands. So he's not that good, but they somehow manage to make the playoffs. So I'll put him in playoffs again. Dolphins have been making a great few picks with their last few drafts. And they missed the cut last year, but I think they'll be making the cut this year. They should have made the cut, but my Pittsburgh Steelers had to put their second strings in and just barely lost to the Cleveland Browns. And then we put our first strings in and got absolutely destroyed in the playoffs. I guess that's the Steelers' way. Anyway, speaking of Cleveland Browns have been doing amazing with their rebuild. If someone said 2 years ago that 4 years ago, after they made an 0-16 record, that they would make the playoffs, 2 years later, you would be thinking that they were high. You'd think they were high, but they did it. They made a good choice with getting Baker Mayfield, and they've been making good picks, good trades. Jaguars. They had some good picks. They've got some good players. Trevor Lawrence. They got Travis Etienne, which are both a pair in college with Clemson. Now, and this is one of the few pairs that we have in the NFL today. We have the Dolphins, we have Tua and Waddle. With the Bengals, we have Burrow and Chase. And with the Jaguars, we have Lawrence and ENT. But the thing is, I don't have faith in Trevor. He's actually struggling in the preseason. And I think they'll do meh. They won't do bad. They'll definitely do better than they did last year. I mean, it won't be that hard. They were 2-14, I think. Detroit Lions. Do I have to say any more? Detroit Lions have been terrible for the longest time. They were good when they had Calvin Johnson. After Calvin Johnson took an abrupt retirement when he was some people think that he was in his prime. I think he should have stayed in the NFL a little bit longer. And yeah, Detroit just never had like a good year ever since Calvin Johnson left. And their quarterback trade with the Rams, I don't think it'll benefit much. They're going to have to do some other stuff to do it. Don't get me wrong. Detroit, as an offense, is decent. But it's their defense that brings them down. So that's why I have to put them didn't have a chance. Because who's in their division? Hold up just a moment. Gotta do search of NFL divisions. Yeah, the Lions are in a division with the Bears, which are going to do hella good this year. They're in a division with the Packers, which has always been good. Well, maybe for out of their whole history, maybe like 5 years. They've had, and the Vikings. Now, they always somehow manage to get the playoffs, but I don't know. I think they'll do bad. Now, speaking of Vikings, they just missed the cut. They always found, the last few years, they found a way to make it into the playoffs. And then they had a miracle against Drew Brees every single year when it came to Stephon Diggs getting that last second touchdown. When it came to who was it? Kyle Rudolph who made the touchdown, the last second touchdown when they should have called a flag for offensive pass interference because he pushed the defender off him. But I think they missed the cut because they have a lot of good teams no, that's an understatement. They don't have a lot of good teams. They have like 6, and some of them are overshadowed because of how good the division are. Okay, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is definitely making it to the playoffs. They are so stacked on players, it is hard not to root for them. They have a beast of a defense. They have Tom Brady as their quarterback. Who the hell is going to bet against him? Unless I see that they're cracking, I wouldn't put them below playoffs. I actually would put them in Super Bowl because I think they might go again. San Francisco. Now here's the thing. This is a team who is very good, but the problem is they're very injury prone. Last season, for the record, they had basically their whole offense get injured. That is a problem. And they're in a division that is very, very heavy. They're in a division with the Seahawks and the Cardinals. That is a very heavy and competitive league. So I would put them at, I want to say they make the playoffs, but actually, yeah, no. Atlanta Falcons. Now, they have been overshadowed by Drew Brees for the longest time. Well, I don't mean overshadowed, but like, they have been doing okay, but not great. I know Matt Ryan is getting older, but even though they lost their star wide receiver, Julio Jones, they got Kyle Pitts, whichever way they use him, tight end, wide receiver, running back, he will do great on their team. They have Calvin Ridley, I think. That's a good receiver core. I say they somehow find a way to make the playoffs. Baltimore Ravens. Do I have to say anything else? They are so good. They are good at making the playoffs, but the problem is they don't really know how to get there. I know last year's season, the last 2 seasons they played against Titans. They lost the first game, but won the second game. So I think they'll make it again. And also there are 17 games and also still 7 teams. So it's going to be pretty easy for teams for divisions like let's see. Let me get an example. Like the NFC South, where it has Tampa Bay, Falcons, and Saints in it. It's very easy for all three of those teams to make it in there, but I don't think Saints are going to make it there. Also, a pretty dominant league division that might have three people show up is the Steelers, the Browns, and the Ravens. They might be showing up there. Okay, now on to... I think Falcons will make the playoffs. Are they going to be a first-round exit? It's depending on what seed they come in. If they face a good team, then they're going to be first ones out. Chicago, I see them winning, making it to the playoffs. They have made a lot of good moves. They got Justin Fields, which I am a big believer in. I think he was the best quarterback to come out of the draft because he's doing very well. I believe that he can do well in the season. And I think he can win big games. He didn't get flustered when he played against Clemson in the first round of the national championships. Who else do they have? I don't really know what they have, but I know that they have a good defense. They were the top defense in the league a few years ago, but then dropped down a little bit. I think they'll do fine. The Bengals. Where do I put them? Didn't have a chance. They have too many good players to not have a chance. I'm going to go meh. The thing is, they're in a tough division because they're in the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Browns in their division. Those three teams are very good, and seeing them win games, I don't know. I think they'll be able to get a win off of Pittsburgh Steelers, but I don't see them getting a win off the Ravens. I don't see them getting a win over the Browns. And I don't know. I don't think they'll do bad, but they'll just do meh. Okay, Dallas. I think this is a team that could make the playoffs or just miss it. Dak Prescott coming off an injury, possibly going to become the comeback player of the year if he does well. Yeah, so I think he'll just make the playoffs because don't forget their division is not that tight. It's the Giants haven't been good for a while since Odell left. Eagles, very injury prone team, the only time they make the playoffs is if they have a losing record. The Washington football team, they have been making some improvement, but I think they make the playoffs. The Colts. I don't know where this team ends up. What I do know is they're in a very easy division. They have the Jaguars, which I don't see as such a hard team to play against. The Texans, which Bill O'Brien absolutely screwed that team. And the Titans. The Titans has probably been the reason why they can never get in the playoffs for the last few years. So, yeah, I think they just missed the playoffs. Texans, get out of here. I've already said it. Bill O'Brien messed up that team. Now, if we were talking about this team before Bill O'Brien came to the team, they would be here. But no. The Rams. Their best player is Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, which I don't even think is a good corner. He couldn't even corner Devonta Adams who is the best wide receiver, and he's supposedly the best cornerback, you would think that he would be able to cover him, but he couldn't. Now, some of you are going to be saying, well, they didn't throw him to him that much. Do they have to? That's the whole point of the Packers. They used him as a diversion to get other guys good success. Okay, now on to the Rams. Oh, wait. I was already on them. Okay. I say they do okay. They're going to take some drawback, but I think they'll do okay. Chargers. I don't even know who's on the team other than Justin Herbert and Joey Bosa, I think. Is he on that team? I don't even know. For my lack of knowledge of knowing that team, I have to put him there because does anyone physically remember anything about the team? If you had to stop and guess 5 players on the team, would you know it? Let me see. Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, Joey Bosa. Yeah, those are the only 3 I remember. So, for that reason, I have to put them didn't have a chance. Kansas City. Do I even have to speak? They have so many good weapons. They have a good quarterback who's gonna probably be back in the Super Bowl or just miss the Super Bowl. They have so many good weapons. Even their second string quarterback, I felt he was throwing it so good when they were playing against Vikings in preseason 3. I feel like if Patrick Mahomes were to ever get injured in the season, I feel they would do just fine. They would take they wouldn't go 14-2. They wouldn't go 14-2. Wait, did they go 14-2 or 15-1 last year? Either way, they're not going to do that good if Patrick Mahomes goes down. I don't even think they'll do that good if Patrick Mahomes is still playing. But bottom line, they're making the playoffs. Saints. They're gonna be meh. They just lost their best starting quarterback. They've just lost their golden player, and now Jameis Winston, who was from the Bucs, did terrible, came over to here, and is probably going to do terrible again. I want to say they'll do meh. They're not going to miss the cut. There is no way they're going to do that good when they're in a division with the Tampa Bay and the Falcons, who still have their good wide quarterback and actually have gotten some more weapons. I trust if Taysom Hill is the quarterback, I think it's him. It's there, but Jameis Winston is here. New York Giants. Now, the thing with them is their only good player or players is Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley. That's it. Daniel Jones is not that good if you're comparing him to the last quarterback they had, which was Eli Manning, who won 2 Super Bowls against the New England Patriots. Yes, that was New England Patriots' Tom Brady. I don't know if they'll do well. Maybe they'll do meh. They haven't been doing well the past few years, but I think they might do okay. Eagles missed the cut. Thing is, maybe they're that, because the thing is, they don't have any good players. They lost Carson Wentz last year. They traded Nick Foles, who, if you remember, got them the championship from Tom Brady. They traded their best. They traded the guy who got them a championship, and yet they stick with the guy who gets injured every year. Name one year Carson Wentz was not injured. Name one year the Eagles made the playoffs and they made the playoffs and Carson Wentz was not injured. Exactly. Jalen Hurts. He's an okay quarterback, but if he gets injured, they're going to go terrible. Devonta Smith, one of the best quarterbacks one of the best quarterbacks that came out of the drafts, is injured for 3 months. No, sorry, not 3 months, 3 games. Yeah. That's not good. Is it 3 months or 3 games? I don't remember. But either way, that's bad. You're losing your best player. You're not going to have your best player for 3 games or 3 months. That's terrible. That's basically saying, welcome to the NFL, kid. Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm trying to keep this separated from AFC, NFC. And what I'm realizing is I have a few more NFC. Okay. Pittsburgh Steelers, this might be Big Ben's last year as a quarterback. They got some okay. They traded James Conner somewhere. I don't remember. And then they got Najee Harris, which he played for Alabama. I think he's going to do great with that offense, because they run the ball about 60% of the time. Most games is 40, but he'll get some carries. The Broncos. Either way, I think Pittsburgh will do okay. Oh, 22 minutes already? Holy shit. Broncos. Missed the cut. The reason why I say missed the cut is because they're playing in a division with the Raiders and Broncos. Or actually, it might just do meh. Because they might not do that well. Because I know the Raiders are definitely missing the cut. I'm not a believer in Derek Carr, and unless the Broncos can figure something out, I don't think they'll do bad. They won't do great. I think they'll do meh. Middle of the pack teams that didn't make the playoffs. Okay, Green Bay. Now, here's the thing. I'm not even for sure that Aaron Rodgers is going to play. If he plays, make the playoffs, possibly make it to the championship. But I don't know that for sure. So I'm going to leave him there. But if he were not playing, I would say miss the playoffs. Actually, or just do meh, because I don't. That team. The thing is, though, to have a good team, you also have to have a good quarterback. If you don't have a good quarterback, you can't throw to your If you don't have a good quarterback, you can't throw to your good wide receivers. If you have a good running back, that helps, but it doesn't help you in all situations. You need a good quarterback. Their quarterback his backup, the one they drafted 2 years ago, I think it's Kyle Love. He's not doing well in camp and hasn't been doing well. But I think they'll do okay. Carolina, they're in such a hard division, and they didn't do well last year. Yeah. Hold up 1 second. NFL divisions. Okay. I have... Okay. Who was I on again? Carolina Panthers. Carolina just didn't do well last year. They were 5-11. The Falcons were 4-12, but I think they'll do good this year. Yeah, I was right. 14-2 Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the thing is, the Redskins, they shocked a lot of people last year. They did very well against Tom Brady and the Bucs in the first round. They only lost by a touchdown, and that was with a rookie quarterback. Actually, that was a guy who didn't play. I think this could be a very bad or a very good prediction, but they might do well. They made the playoffs with 7-9. 7-9. Did you hear me? That's NFC East. 7-9 makes you into the playoffs. Now, is it that hard to believe that Dallas will make it to the playoffs? I think not. Cardinals. They'll make it to the playoffs. They're a good team. They have a good enough team to make it there. Bills. Well, they have. Yeah. Do I need to explain Cardinals? Cardinals. They did 8-8, and they could have won. They could have gotten to the playoffs. They were 8-8. They did good. And I feel like they'll do even better, so why not put them in there? Bills. Do I even have to explain? They were the best team, in my opinion. It was them, Kansas City. It was them and then Kansas City that were the best teams in the AFC. Which they might still be the best players. Let me just get them out of the way. Okay. Seahawks. Let's put them here. They always make the playoffs because they are in a bad division. I mean, the Rams, they're not that good. They're not that good at all. They're not. If someone says the Rams are good, then you're wrong. They're a meh team. Patriots. Now, last year it was very hard for people to bet against them, probably because they had the reputation behind them. But now that they have Cam Newton behind the wheel, and then Mac Jones, who might take the starting role from Cam Newton, I think they'll do meh. They won't do great, but they'll just do meh. Yeah. Okay, now on to Super Bowl. Who of these 14 teams is gonna make it to the Super Bowl? Now I'm picking 2 from the AFC and the NFC. So this is basically my prediction. The Bills, definitely. Kansas City, definitely. I think if the Dolphins make the playoffs, I feel like they would go out in the first round. I think Dolphins, Titans, and then my Pittsburgh Steelers go out in the first round. And then it would be the Bills and the Kansas City would just beat one of them. Or if it's not the Bills, it'll be the Baltimore. So I'm going to put them there in the front. And then just wherever way you want to put it. And then for the other side, I think it'll be Buccaneers and then Green Bay. I think that's a fair way to put it. Notice how this is the same. Is this the same? This is the same defensive division round of the playoffs last year. Bills versus Kansas City. Buccaneers versus Green Bay. I feel like from here it would be. I feel like Atlanta would go out in the first round. Dallas will go out in the first round, and then for some reason, Atlanta Falcons. Seahawks. They always find a way to make it to the playoffs. Just they get stumped in the first round. Same thing with the Saints. Something happens that makes them do bad. So they would go out in the first round, I think, and then the Cardinals and the Cardinals and Chicago Bears would just lose to Green Bay and Tampa Bay. Green Bay and Tampa Bay. I think I think Chicago would be, if it's not Green Bay, it's Chicago. I could be completely wrong with that, but here's my list. Now, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Comment down below, do you think I did something that I should have changed, or something I should have considered? Comment down below what you think I should have changed and what I did correctly. And yeah. I'm gonna put. Thanks for watching. Please comment down below what you think I predicted correctly, and what I did just that you didn't agree with. This was my opinion. This was from my standpoint. If you have another opinion, if you have your opinion and you think that I just did it wrong, then explain why. But please drop a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, and like the video if you liked it. Peace out, guys.